All right, soon to be mamas, I'm gonna walk you through some of the worst items to put on your baby. Item number one, sleepers that have snaps. We want a zipper, okay? When you're looking at sleepers, we want a zipper. If possible, we want footies attached, and we also would love a cuff in case they happen to scratch their face, okay? Get some good sleepers, especially in the newborn phase, because you don't always wanna get them dressed. This is an example of what you should not get, and this is an example of what I would recommend. The next thing I would say to skip on your baby registry is hats and mittens. So these can be boy or girl. I've got some girl ones here. This is too many hats. On mittens, I recommend honestly not getting any. Get the sleeper where it comes with it. Try to cut their nails, file their nails, try to avoid that product, or even use socks on their hands. Just saying. Now if you want to get mittens, whatever floats your boat. But for me, it is a very short-lived and a one-purpose item. When it comes to hats, I didn't put hats on my babies that often, so for me, they got a few that came with sleepers or swaddles. I would not specifically get a set of hats, as tempting as it may be. Next, a huge pack of bath toys. Don't do it. And I don't have a recommendation here because I would not buy anything. Just, do you not have any plastic random cups in your house? You don't need bath toys. A couple cups and a couple maybe toys that will just accumulate over time. Don't go out and buy new bath toys. Okay, for diapering, there's this like Munchkin brand diaper organizer. I don't like this item. I just feel like it looks awkward and it doesn't really have a secondary purpose. Instead, this is what I would recommend, a diaper caddy. One like this I think would be really nice, kind of sturdy. It's got handles. You can move it around the house if you want to. And also later in life, this can be something else, okay? It can be a toy holder. It could be something you put in the car, almost like a car organizer for your kids. It could be a hair basket if you have little girls or even little boys with hair products. All right, I love the basket style and would not get that Munchkin style. Okay, when it comes to your baby registry, watch out for expensive items that are honestly pointless. This peanut changing pad thing is like over 140 bucks. All it is a rubber mat to change your baby on. You don't need it. What we did was we had a guest bed in our baby's room. One of them, it was like a queen. One of them, it was like a twin. We put a quilt on top of the comforter to protect the comforter. That was our changing pad. We changed them on the guest bed. You can change them on a couch, on the floor, wherever, but you don't need this expensive thing for them to lay on. Okay, I am not a fan of like changing pads in any form as far as like a purchased item. For me, it is a quilt. Put that little diaper caddy next to you and you're good to go. The diaper pail. Okay, I never had one, never wanted one. No need. Trash cans will do the job. I actually prefer not to have this in their like nursery or their bedroom because then you're gonna have this huge bag all full of nasty, stinky diapers. So it stinks extra bad. I would rather put one diaper at a time in the kitchen and then we take the kitchen trash out periodically and it doesn't stink that bad because there's only a couple diapers in there. Just my preference. You could do a trash can in your laundry room, in your garage. You could do one in their bedroom that has a lid and maybe it's kind of like a diaper pail, but not as expensive or as like good as a diaper pail. The thing about a trash can is you can reuse it. A diaper pail, once you're done with it, you're done with it. All right, and nobody buys a used diaper pail. Bottle drying racks. Everybody thinks you need a specific drying rack for your bottles. You don't have to. Okay, this grass one doesn't actually hold all that many bottles, parts, or pieces. There's better ones out there, I will say that. But you could just use a dish drying rack, or you could just use a towel. And if you argue, oh, they fall off the towel, put the towel into a like mixing bowl. Throw all the parts and pieces in a mixing bowl, shake them up with a towel and let them air dry. And also, a lot of you are buying bottle sterilizers and dryers. If you're buying a dryer or you're putting them in the dishwasher, you probably don't need a drying rack. I wouldn't get one. It's clutter and it's just gonna fill up your countertops. Ma'am bottles or just having a lot of bottles in general. So I was a breastfeeding mama primarily. We did do a tiny little bit of bottles, and when we did, we found the mams to leak. We did not like them. We were not fans. They had so many parts and pieces, which was annoying to wash. They're easier to wash because they come apart, but annoying to put back together. When it comes to bottles, I recommend getting one type because if you get 3 different types, you've got parts and pieces to 3 different types. It's a lot to manage. So simplify your bottles. The baby grooming kit. Now I'm showing a pink one here on the screen. You can get them in blue, pink, or like gender neutral, like gray, or more of like a turquoise. If you're gonna get it, get gender neutral. But I would not recommend getting it because I think it's a lot of junky items you're not gonna use. I can only name a handful of items that are even in here that I would have ever used with my babies. So for me, the grooming kit is a skip. Okay, when it comes to the nursery and one large piece of furniture, it is the crib. I do not recommend getting a convertible crib. Now, if you do get convertible, I just would never convert it. Does that make sense? Hopefully it kind of does. So here's why. Okay, if you have a baby, and they're newborn, whatever, they're sleeping in the crib. They turn 3, they no longer need the crib. You have another baby. Well, okay, you got to pass that crib down. So don't convert it. Get them a separate bed. Now, if you do convert the crib, say you made it into a toddler, full-size, whatever bed, now you have another baby, you have to buy a whole nother crib. That seems silly. Either way, you're buying more furniture. If somebody wants to say, well, the convertible crib will grow with them so you don't buy more furniture. First of all, if you notice, it does not include all the parts and pieces. So you are buying extra parts and pieces. Then as you convert it, you're storing the extra parts and pieces that are no longer a part of the bed. All right, so, say you have little Johnny and then little Susie. Little Johnny is growing up. Oh, he's in his convertible crib forever. I never buy a piece of furniture again. Well, guess what? Now for little Susie, I have to buy a new crib because we don't have a crib anymore. So I hate convertible cribs. Get a crib, keep it as a crib for the duration of you having babies. All right, and then if you're done, pass it along to somebody else as a crib, less parts and pieces to manage, okay? Just get them a big bed when the time comes. And another huge point on this is if your baby bites the part that is the headboard, that's where my children marked it up so bad. So I wouldn't even want that crib to be their bed when they're 16 and 17. That's silly. It looks rough from their bite marks when they were not even a year old. For me, the convertible crib is such a skip. Please don't do it. Next, I've got another style of changing station. This is a whole piece of furniture. That silicone one went on top of a dresser. I like that better, not for the price, but just for it makes more sense kind of thing. This is a whole piece of furniture just dedicated to changing your baby's diapers. For me, I would rather put this money towards a guest bed in their room that could be their bed later, and you could change them on that. Okay, so for me, I think the bed's a little bit safer. There's a little more room for them. They're not gonna roll right off onto the ground. I just would never get one of these. Couldn't, want it, and I don't think you should as well. All right, the Doona car seat that converts into a stroller. Some people love this, some people don't. I never had one, so I can't totally hate on it, but if you notice, they look extremely short to the ground. If you're tall, wouldn't get one. Also, they look heavier to me. Like putting them into the car, they have the wheels attached, seems a little much. And then also, what if you want to take your baby out in the car seat, but not make it be a stroller? I don't always like the stroller because, say I'm going grocery shopping, I just would put them in the cart. I didn't want to push a stroller and a cart. And just certain places, I was okay with just having the car seat. So for me, I wouldn't get the Doona, even if I had an unlimited budget, which I plan on doing a video soon on an unlimited budget. What would I actually get? This does not make the cut. Just me as a mom with my experience, I would not want this item. The only people that I think really would enjoy this item are people that are frequent flyers and travelers, okay? The everyday mom, I don't think it's the one for you. Also, if you look at it as a stroller, it has 0 storage, 0 cup holders. It doesn't have anything with it because it's a car seat. Okay, get a car seat that clips into a stroller base. It's worth it. Next, I've got this crazy pink Jeep. My point for this one is don't get toys on your baby registry that are simply too big. Your baby's gonna have a first Christmas, a second Christmas, a first birthday, a second birthday. You have all the time in the world to get them older items. For now, let's focus on the newborn phase and honestly just the first year. I think focusing on the first year is what we need to do for the baby registry. The baby NutriBullet or any baby food maker blender. I think they're silly. If you have a regular blender, just use that. You can make purees. I've done it. Tons of my friends have. You don't need a specific baby food one. I know they come with little containers. You can get your own little containers. You can also use things like an ice cube tray and say you made pears. So you just pureed pears, whatever. Get a tray. They're like $1 or less, maybe even 25 cents at the dollar store. They're cheap. Ice trays are super cheap. Put it in there. Freeze it, pop them out. You can store them in a Ziploc or, any sort of Tupperware in the freezer, label it pears. When you want to feed them that, what you can do is just stick it in a bowl. Take out a couple of the ice cubes, pear cubes, put them in a bowl, let them thaw in the fridge or thaw sitting out. No big deal. You can have oats if you want, whatever. There you go. Baby food, ready to go. You don't need this specific blender. It's a gimmick. Hoodies and sweatshirts for, honestly, under a year old. Once they're walking, things like hoodies and sweatshirts fit them much better. A crinkled up little newborn does not need to be in a sweatshirt. Okay, it's funky, it's bulky, it's hard to get on and off. And I'm also not a huge fan of kids that are in the car seat a ton wearing hoods or babies that are laying on the floor a lot, getting tummy time or time on their back with the hood. I just feel like it's uncomfortable and I never knew where to put it on them or to be out of their way. So for me, not a huge fan of hoodies and sweatshirts. Just my personal preference. I do have people in my lives that put their kids in sweatshirts all the time and that worked for them. I prefer a jacket that's easier to take on and off. Baby shoes. You do not need baby shoes when they're itty bitty. You can get some little Velcro booties to keep their feet warm in the winter if you're concerned about warmth. If you're concerned about style, just don't worry about it. Barefoot babies are adorable, okay? Don't worry about getting baby shoes. It's really, really silly. If you want some for a picture or something, look secondhand because itty bitty little baby shoes were never worn on the ground. So sometimes they're in perfectly new condition. So consider buying secondhand. This wash basin, I think, is the biggest gimmick. It's just a tub, it's collapsible, and it has like a drain plug. Just use a mixing bowl if you're trying to wash something, okay? Use a utility sink in your home. Use a bucket. Use whatever you need to use, but don't spend $16, $17, however many dollars on this item. It's so silly, and this is definitely a new mom, new baby gimmick type item. The wipe warmer, I think it's silly because guess what? If your baby always gets warm wipes at home, they're gonna be real confused when you go to a restaurant and have to change them with cold ones, or at church, or at grandma's house, or anywhere else in life. For me, the wipe warmer is a safety hazard because it's either run on batteries or plugged in. It potentially dries out your wipes, which is not good. That's a waste of money. It is something to restock, if you're putting wipes into it, and it's just something to be in the way. All right, don't get a wipe warmer. Make your baby get used to cold wipes and they will. All right, I have so many more baby registries where I go through good and bad items, so check those out. If you're interested in hearing more on my opinions on the convertible crib, I'm very happy to share that. I have a video going all into it with a little more detail. So all those things are going to be linked in the description. If you do want links to any of the products that I've shown in this video, those will be in the description as well as in the first pinned comment. Okay, so check all that out. Thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.